Well, my hikes have definitely been withered. So, Wuthering Heights is a 2026 film directed by Emerald Fennell. It stars Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, and it's an adaptation of a book of the same name written by Emily Bronte. That classic piece of literature has various complicated themes throughout the story. Themes like love, passion, racism, classism, jealousy, hatred, and it does it so eloquently, and it's a really great story if you ever get a chance to read it. Now, if they had actually adapted that story for the film, probably would have made for a much better time. But what we get is a watered down Wattpad version. This story has been adapted throughout the years in TV shows and in movies, in my opinion, in much better ways. I feel like each adaptation we get, there's a different theme focused on, whether it be love, whether it be the classism, the racism. Here, I feel like Emerald Fennell is focusing on the lust, which would be no issue, which would be great if it were actually lustful or as dirty as the marketing is making it seem. Recently, I've been noticing a lot of films doing that publicity stunt of trying to make you believe that the co-stars are hooking up, and I feel like it just cheapens the film. It never makes me think, oh yeah, they're definitely hooking up. No, it feels like they're just getting paid an extra amount of money to flirt on camera, and that's what they did with Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie. You would think that that made the chemistry stronger, or it would mean that it's more believable. It's not. So the story centers around Catherine, played by Margot Robbie, who meets this young boy named Heathcliff, played by Jacob Elordi, when his family adopts him from the streets. And essentially, we just see them fall in love, and we see that love progress from childhood into adulthood. And there comes a point where we're supposed to believe that Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi are playing 19, 20 year olds, which really doesn't come across as authentic. The dialogue and the actions feel like that of young people, but then we see who's presenting them, these actions, these words, and it doesn't feel like the script matches the actor. I think this film does suffer a little bit from miscasting. I think Margot Robbie is an immense talent, and Jacob Elordi has really shown himself to be a surprisingly good actor when he's not limited to roles like Nate in Euphoria or where he started off in the kissing booth. I think Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein really gave him a chance to shine, and I think he has a very promising career. But this is not the film for either of these actors. I feel like we should have definitely gotten younger actors, as it would have felt more believable. But instead, here it feels like whiny, immature adults trying to have an illicit affair when Margot Robbie eventually marries. So as the story progresses, we see Margot Robbie's Catherine marry a man who's very rich, who can give her a better life. And of course, Heathcliff, Jacob Elordi being very upset, rides off into the sunset and runs away. He comes back years later with wealth and power, thinking that this will draw Catherine to him. But essentially, what plays out is a cheap cat and mouse game of love and affairs and passion, and none of that really feels original. I feel like we've gotten more lustful, sexy films like Baby Girl. Uh, in more recent years, we've gotten a lot better versions of this. It feels very tame. The marketing definitely makes it seem like it's going to be this big, oh, it's full of sex and it's full of lust. No, no, I think the worst scene, or I guess more lustful scene, doesn't even include the two main actors. It's in a horse stable with side characters, and the main characters are basically just witnesses to the event without giving too much away. The sets are beautiful, but empty. At times, I felt like this mansion that Margot Robbie is living in was so beautiful from the outside, but once we're inside, it's a lot like the dialogue. It looks pretty, very empty. It feels like it's coming across like a music video. And maybe if it were that, it'd be a lot better. But given that it's taking itself seriously as this passion, illicit affair film, it really doesn't do a very good job at it. The soundtrack is by Charlie XCX, who I do like as an artist. Her album Brat was pretty good for modern synth pop music, but I feel like I forgot every single song off the soundtrack and that played in the movie once I left the theater. Um, I wouldn't say that it's a bad movie. I definitely say it has its target audience, which I understand I am not. Even though I am a big fan of romance films, movies like The Notebook and 13 Going on 30. I'm a big rom com guy. These films, I'm not the target audience, but I have such a good time with them. I did not have a good time with this. I think if you're into this period piece, love story type of films, there's a lot better movies out there. I'd recommend, obviously Pride and Prejudice. I think Atonement does a much better uh, job portraying the same kind of story in the same kind of time with better performances and a better story. So yeah, I can't really say I recommend it. I can't really say watch it when it's streaming. I think if you watch this film, you will definitely forget about it by the time the credits come on. And yeah, that's it for this review. Go see something better. Go see Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Go see Crime 101. Or go see I'm really excited for How to Make a Killing. Hopefully I have a review for that one up soon. Yeah, but don't waste your time on this film. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.